Hello, this is Ruth Hollingshead, trustee for Site for Wight, welcoming you to this week's Talking News.
Site for Wight Talking News for Friday the 24th of July 2020.
Alison reading from On the Wight. Wight links Fastcat to resume sailings. Following increased demand from foot passengers, Wight Link is resuming Fastcat sailings from Friday the 31st of July 2020. There will be an hourly round-trip service from Portsmouth between 06:15 and 2020 on weekdays and 07:15 to 2020 on Saturdays and Sundays. Wight Link Chief Executive Keith Greenfield says, "We are looking forward to restarting our passenger service between Portsmouth Harbour and Ryde Pier Head at the end of the month. Although passenger numbers remain low, they are gradually rising, and we believe it is the right time to bring back the service. Reintroducing Fastcats will support Ryde's economy and seasonal businesses by encouraging more day trip visitors." Wight Link staff have been busy preparing the Fastcats to start sailing again and are carrying out trial runs to test systems. Capacity capped. To stay COVID safe, passenger numbers have been capped and capacity reduced to allow plenty of room on board each departure for social distancing. The catamarans are being cleaned to high standards and hand sanitisers are available. In line with government regulations, customers and staff will wear face coverings in the passenger areas on board and inside the terminals. Pay by card or mobile. Fastcat customers will need to pay for travel and parking by card or mobile device. They can buy tickets at the ports using ticket vending machines and online. Ticket offices will not be open initially. The Ryde Pier barrier charge will be suspended until the end of August. Wight Link has been awarded the We're Good to Go mark by Visit Britain. It shows the company complies with all government and public health guidance and has carried out the necessary risk assessments. Keith Greenfield adds, Wight Link has worked closely with the Isle of Wight Council's Transport Infrastructure Board, including the other cross-Solent operators, to make sure the Isle of Wight received the ferry services it needed throughout the crisis. Due to increased demand, I am pleased that we are now able to announce the reopening of our Fastcat service between Portsmouth and Ryde. Like many other travel businesses, Wight Link has made substantial losses this year due to COVID-19, but as usual we still need to spend millions of pounds on vessel and port maintenance this winter to ensure all our services are available in 2021. This is the reason we have been slowly reintroducing services only as demand grows, to avoid further losses. We are keeping the situation under constant review and will continue to adjust services in line with demand as we go through the rest of the year. End to travelling with other providers. As all cross-Solent routes will be operating from Friday the 31st of July, the agreement between Wight Link, Red Funnel and Hover Travel to accept foot passenger tickets on each other's services will end. Customers should ensure they book with the operator they intend to travel with.
This is Brian reading an article from the Island Echo. New laws to help avoid greenfield development welcomed by MP. New rules to reduce pressure to build on greenfield sites and deliver more homes that fit the character of their local area have been cautiously welcomed by MP Bob Seeley. The new rules, which will come into effect by September, will mean full planning applications will not be required to demolish and rebuild unused buildings, as homes and commercial retail properties will be able to be quickly repurposed to revive high streets and town centres. Homeowners will also be able to add up to 2 additional stories to their home to create new homes or more living space for growing families through a fast-track approval process. Housing Secretary, the Right Honourable Robert Jenrick MP, said, "We are reforming the planning system and cutting out unnecessary bureaucracy to give small business owners the freedom they need to adapt and evolve, and to renew our town centres with new enterprises and more housing. These changes will help transform boarded up, unused buildings safely into high quality homes at the heart of their communities." Mr. Seeley said, "I cautiously welcome these new laws if they will help to revitalise brownfield sites and protect our green spaces. We need some new housing, albeit in much smaller numbers than the government suggest, but we must protect our green spaces as we build. These rules should help us to create homes in line with local need. We need 1 and 2 bedroomed housing for our young people, and the closer to public transport links and amenities, the better. The regeneration of town centres for housing fits with our local need." The government said it will set out plans this month to reform England's 7-decade-old planning system to deliver more high-quality, well-designed homes and beautiful and greener communities for people to live in.
This is Chris reading an article from the Island Echo. New wheelchair service for the Isle of Wight to start in 2021. Wheelchair users have helped shape a new service which will start on the Isle of Wight next year. The service, which will cover the island, Southampton and West Hampshire, will start in April 2021. It will be provided by the existing operator, Millbrook Healthcare Limited, and includes several improvements suggested by wheelchair users, their carers and patient groups who wanted a service which was patient-centred, joined up and island-based. The innovations for the Isle of Wight service include improving patient experience by reducing waiting times and repeat assessments by using key members of the community workforce trained as trusted assessors for wheelchairs. Giving more choice and control for wheelchair users, offering individual budgets for equipment under the Personal Wheelchair Budget Scheme. Accepting referrals for children under 3 years of age if they have postural support needs, which means parents and carers will experience a simpler process than they do at present. Using various communication methods to support users, accessing the service and to keep them informed whilst they use the service. As part of the new way of working, the wheelchair service will also look to ensure that service users continue to be involved in future service. Wheelchair users were invited to contribute their views on the current service and say what improvements they would like to see, particularly regarding waiting times, service location, choice and control and methods of contacting the service. A focus group was held with wheelchair users, and 89 people also responded to a survey, including carers and the parents of children who use wheelchairs. A smaller session was also held to hear the views and feedback from younger service users. Dr. Timothy Whelan, a GP and clinical lead for NHS Isle of Wight Clinical Commissioning Group, CCG,
which has jointly commissioned the new service with two GCGs in Hampshire, said, "Millbrook's performance and service delivery on the island has been consistently good, and we are delighted to have worked closely with them to plan further improvements to the service." The CCG and Millbrook recognise that a timely assessment and provision and having an appropriate chair for an individual's needs are essential to the lives of people in wheelchairs who want a service which is flexible, responsive and high quality. Alison Smith, the CCG's managing director, said, "When we met service users, their major concerns were around the service accessibility, responsiveness, including providing chairs quickly when needed, and having a comprehensive service which provides assessment, delivery, fitting, maintenance, repairs, continuity, and had easy-to-reach staff. We have listened to what people told us and acted on it in liaison. Both we and Millbrook are determined to try to deliver the best possible service." Annette Cairns, Clinical and Quality Director for Millbrook Healthcare, said, "We're delighted that we've been awarded the contract to manage the new wheelchair service for West Hampshire, Southampton and the Isle of Wight from April 2021. We believe this demonstrates the quality of the services that we provide and the confidence our NHS partners have in our approach. We have some exciting developments planned for our service users next year and are pleased that we can continue to work collaboratively to make a difference to their lives. On behalf of the NHS."
This is Howard reading an article from On the Wight about Isle of Wight pen pals. Isle of Wight pen pals are appealing to care homes or charities whose residents' members would appreciate receiving a letter to get in touch and they can connect them with new pen pals. Island of Petula Blanks has formed the Isle of Wight Pen Pals Facebook page with the aim of connecting pen pals with island residents feeling lonely. Petula is appealing to care homes or charities whose residents or members would appreciate receiving a letter to get in touch via the new Facebook page. If you would like to be a pen pal and write to someone in a care home or living on their own and feeling lonely, get in touch with Paula via the Facebook page. If you're not on Facebook and want to become a pen pal or work in a care home, etc., where residents would welcome letters, get in touch via email blankspet@gmail.com.
This is Sue reading an article from On the Wight. Pillar in Carisbrooke community clocks up 30 years at local store. A Carisbrooke woman who got a job at her local store to save the family home has described this latest year as one of the most memorable. Mel Lacey celebrated her 30-year work anniversary at the Cooperative Food Carisbrooke during the lockdown on 2nd of June 2020 and says she still enjoys going to work every day. Clocked up 30 years in store. The mother of 6 sons first started working at the store when it was owned by David Harris and came under the name David's. When David sold his stores to Southern Co-op in 2005, Mel was very happy to keep working and has now clocked up 30 years in total. Mel, aged 61, said, "I aim to get to 40 years and then I will retire. When I started working here in the late 80s, it was a time when the mortgage rates were at 15% and I had just given birth to my second son. But I needed to get a job to keep up the mortgage repayments, and we still live in that same house 30 years on." A family affair. Working for Southern Co-op has been a family affair as 5 of her sons and her husband have all worked for the company. During the last 30 years, she also ran her own nursery, but decided she needed a bit less responsibility and closed it last year. Mel added, "In that time there have been several viruses and flus that have gone around, but never anything like we are currently going through. The only thing that has affected retail in a similar way is severe snow. It has been really interesting to see people's different reactions to it as they come in for their essentials. We have had a lot more people coming here as they don't feel safe in larger stores. It's been lovely to see new faces. I've enjoyed getting to know them all and remembering their names. Often feel like skipping into work. She just started working at just 12 years old at her local grocer's, and she soon developed her passion for serving people behind the counter. I just love being a customer service assistant. I don't think I've ever woken up and thought I don't want to go in today. I often feel like skipping into work as I live so close. It's like a family here. A pillar in the Carisbrook community. Lewis Heaven Gandhi, store manager at the Southern Co-op branch in Carisbrook High Street, said, "From running the local nursery to manning the local till, Mel has been a pillar in the Carisbrook community since before I was born. Mel has been at the store since I started working for Southern Co-op 14 years ago, juggling this with running the local nursery and playgroup directly opposite. Her effort and enthusiasm has never once waned, which is truly remarkable. Mel is a pleasure to work with and is known and loved by everybody in the community. Her passion for retail and her bright, bubbly personality ensures nothing but the highest customer service is delivered day in and day out. She really is a credit to the store and to the society."
This is an article from On the Wight, read by Terry. Blanket Isle of Wight COVID-19 testing not recommended, says public health boss. Island-wide COVID-19 testing is not on the cards, according to the Isle of Wight Director of Public Health. Simon Bryant, Director of Public Health, told a meeting it would not be helpful as it would pick up false positives. At a meeting of the Isle of Wight Council's Health and Wellbeing Board, concerns were raised by one parish councillor about those who may have COVID-19 and are potentially spreading the virus but not realising it as they are showing no symptoms. Concern about asymptomatics. Councillor Bob Blizzard, a member of Lake Parish Council and representative of the Isle of Wight Association of Local Councils, said, "This seems to me to be a problematic area. Is there a way testing could be rolled out to everyone on the island? We were used as a guinea pig for the NHS Track and Trace app. Could we not be used as a guinea pig for wider testing?" Bryant. Asymptomatic testing would not be cost effective. However, Mr. Bryant said he would not recommend asymptomatic testing, tests for those who are showing no signs of the virus for the whole island, as it would not be cost effective. He said, "We are doing asymptomatic testing in particular settings where we know the spread is much more devastating, in care homes and other places. If we have an outbreak, 2 or more cases in the same area, we do test other people to see if they have got it, and we will pick up asymptomatic cases in that sense. We also have to remember the island has a very low prevalence of infection, so it is not effective to do testing because we will start to pick up false positives, which isn't helpful." No new cases in the last 7 days. Mr. Bryant mentioned a pilot trial in Southampton which conducts weekly surveillance of people by doing spit tests and suggested nationally there may be more pilots such as that. On the Isle of Wight, 421 people have tested positive for COVID-19 in all settings, hospitals, care homes, drive-through centres and more. But Mr. Bryant says there had been no new cases in the last 7 days.
This is Howard reading an article from On the Wight about more slots being made available at Isle of Wight rubbish tips from next month. From next month, more slots will be available to allow 13 vehicles every 15 minutes, meaning 52 households can visit the HWRC in an hour. More slots are going to be made available at tips on the Isle of Wight, but restrictions will be in place for as long as necessary. The Isle of Wight Council has also said general household waste is still not being accepted. Since May, island residents have had to pre-book a slot at the 2 household waste and recycling centres, HWRCs, to get rid of most of the rubbish they've been collecting in lockdown. After initial restrictions were put in place, including a speed limit and temporary one-way system on Brittlesford Road, some measures have been lifted as the tips open up to more people. In a letter to all local authorities, the government advised councils to avoid unnecessarily tight restrictions, like a limited number of pre-booked slots, after it was found some councils had put excessively tight restrictions in place. Simon Clarke, Minister for Local Government, and Rebecca Powell, Environment Minister, said in the letter, "Where there are opportunities to improve access and help households dispose of waste responsibly, then we would encourage local authorities to keep measures under review and to extend access where this can be done safely." However, the Isle of Wight Council has said it has received no complaints about the current booking system and is increasing the number of slots available per hour. Also, by working in partnership with Amy, the Council says the sites and processes have been closely monitored and regularly reviewed to ensure the safety of residents and staff. A spokesperson for the Council said, "As long as social distancing is required, we cannot operate the site as we used to. For the safety of staff and householders, there are internal restrictions on the number of parking bays in use and the number of vehicles able to access the site at any one time. Every householder can book every 14 days. At Linbottom HWRC, only 12 of the 23 parking bays can be used following the social distancing guidelines set by government. In May, 13 cars were able to go to the tip every half hour, but with restrictions lifting, allowing different vehicles and trailers to bring waste, this was changed to 10 vehicles every 15 minutes. From 3rd of August, more slots will open to allow 13 vehicles every 15 minutes, meaning 52 households can come to the HWRC in an hour. The time schedule for the appointment is only the time you should arrive at the site and not a time limit. Residents are able to unload their waste in the time it takes them to do so. At Afton Marsh HWRC in Freshwater, only 4 of the 8 parking bays can be used. From 3rd of August, 6 vehicles will be allowed into the HWRC every 15 minutes, compared to only 5 cars per 30 minutes when it reopened with stricter measures. Despite the increase in slots and acceptance of most rubbish types, general household waste or black bin rubbish is still not accepted at the site. Included in the term general waste is nappies, used tissues, crisp packets, cigarette butts and bubble wrap. The council has said households creating large amounts of general waste because of medical reasons, 6 or more people in the household, or 2 or more children in nappies can order a large black bin on its website.
This is Chris reading an article from the Isle of Wight County Press entitled "Cats and Kittens on the Isle of Wight Without a Home to Call Their Own Can Now Be Adopted." Cats Protection was forced to shut its doors to potential adoptees once the lockdown took effect. But now the adoption centre has started safe, socially distanced adoptions. The shelter has found 36 cats and kittens new homes thanks to the new adoption scheme. Mel Reid, centre manager, said, "It was particularly difficult when lockdown started as we were at capacity, apart from the couple of spaces we kept free for emergencies. Our work therefore continued throughout as we've had a full house from the beginning, as well as additional cats in foster care. Knowing there were cats needing homes and potential new families waiting, but no way to legally and safely unite them, was a real challenge. Now we have the best of both worlds. It keeps everyone safe and suitably distanced while ensuring cats are coming into care and being united with new owners as quickly as possible once a match is made. We know it has been a real struggle for many during lockdown, especially with vets already overstretched and limited appointments available for neutering. We're here to help and won't judge. We know unplanned litters of kittens can be overwhelming and would urge anyone who is finding it difficult to care for a cat or kitten to get in touch.
Hello, this is Lisa reading an article from the Island Observer. Island homes could benefit from relaunched energy scheme. Warm Up Wight has been operating since 2016 and aims to help householders on the island to access a range of energy efficient measures that could help to make their homes warmer and cheaper to heat. The qualification criteria for the scheme has now been widened, meaning many more people that may have missed out in the past could now qualify, including those on low income or properties that are hard to heat. The scheme is operated by heating and insulation company J.J. Crump & Son and supported by the Isle of Wight Council. Councillor Steve Hastings, Cabinet Minister for Procurement, Waste Management, Special Projects and Forward Planning said, "Fuel poverty is still a real issue on the Isle of Wight as energy prices rise. Those living in homes without sufficient energy efficient measures in place are often hit the hardest. We know that following COVID-19 lockdown, many homes will be facing the reality of a reduced income, where their fuel bills are actually likely to increase as a result of being home all of the time. This is an ideal time to do what we can to help people make their homes warmer and cheaper to heat. Under this scheme, thousands of homes on the Isle of Wight will be eligible to apply for a range of energy efficient measures such as cavity wall insulation, loft insulation, room in the roof insulation, and in some cases replacement boilers or new heating systems. We know there are tens of thousands of homes on the island that could still benefit from insulation and heating measures, said Steve of J.J. Crump. Our teams will be out on the streets soon and residents will receive a letter through their door which will provide more information about this scheme, he said. The list of eligibility criteria and the various ways in which people can apply will be given. For many residents, the energy efficient measures will also be free. While the weather is warmer, Mr. Crump continues, there is no better time to prepare homes for the winter months and the colder conditions. And he encourages anyone who thinks they may be eligible under the scheme to get in touch. For more information about Warm Up Wight or to register your interest, please visit www.jjcrump.com.
Hi, this is Steve reading an article from the Isle of Wight County Press, headlined "Records Broken in Season's First Isle of Wight Time Trial Series." After a difficult time for sport in general, and with no cycle racing allowed during the recent lockdown, the Wight Link White Mountain TT Series finally got underway last week, with a 10-mile time trial on the Coleman circuit. Having been given the green light by cycling time trials only the week before, and due to a number of riders eager to return to racing, a decision was made to go ahead with the planned event at short notice. Within 24 hours, more than 50 riders wishing to compete contacted team organisers Jerry and Julie Cooper, which led to the original plan for 40 places extended to 50, which became the biggest field ever for an evening TT on the Isle of Wight. Riders from Wight Link White Mountain, Team Spy, Wight Tri, the Isle of Wight Triathlon Club, the West Wight Wheelers, Bike Jockey CC, and a number of independent cyclists came together to compete in the various categories. The conditions were favourable and the scene was set for some very fast times. The top 3 places overall were taken by Wight Link White Mountain CLT riders. The fastest time was set by Kev Chant, who picked up where he left off last season, setting a new course record of 20 minutes and 39 seconds. Second place went to Clint Oliver in 21.28, closely followed by Adam Hollyman, third, in 21.37. There were some amazing times set by the under-18 riders who competed. The fastest junior female was Lily Odell from the St Ives Cycling Club in 28.22, and Ewan Cook of the West Wight Wheelers, the youngest competitor, who had only recently turned 12, who was the fastest junior male with a time of 26.32. In the ladies category, Faye Faber of CycleCoach.com was first home in a time of 22.22, which was not only a new course record, but had also beaten the previous Ladies Isle of Wight 10-mile time trial record by an impressive 1 minute and 18 seconds. In the veterans category, Simon Ambrosini of Wight Link White Mountain took first place, clocking up a superb time of 21.45, which was also the 5th fastest time on the night. All in all, the event was a great success, but couldn't have happened without the support of the sponsors and the Isle of Wight cycling community, who volunteered to help out on the evening, said a spokesman for the event. It was a fantastic night, celebrating the best of cycling on the Isle of Wight, and we're looking forward to hosting the next round of the Wight Link White Mountain Series in August.
This is Chris reading a letter to the editor of the County Press. Inland Dover from Den Chape Ride. Matthew Chatfield asked in the County Press on the 17th of July if any reader knew of another Dover. I do. It is the name of a field in East Ashey. As you drive up the Downs Road from Ryde and turn into East Ashey Lane, the field on your left is known as the Dover. It runs parallel with the lane until you reach East Ashey Cottages. My grandparents lived in the first cottage, and as a small boy nearly 80 years ago, I would walk in the field with my grandfather picking mushrooms or blackberries. Usually the farm horses and cattle would be grazing there. The last time I entered that field would be in the early 1950s. What sticks in my mind, all these years later, was the huge number of ant and molehills and rabbit burrows. I understood that the pronunciation of Dover rhymed with cover.
This is an update from Sight for Wight. Hello, this is Lisa, the CEO of Sight for Wight. Our shop, Dress for Less, has now been open for nearly a month, and Debbie has been delighted to welcome back not only the volunteers but also some familiar faces of our loyal customers. We have a range of summer clothing for enjoying time at home and out and about. For those people not able to get to the shop but are looking for something special, please visit our eBay shop at www.ebay.co.uk/USR/site4wight. That's www.ebay.co.uk/USR/site4wight. Or perhaps give the shop a call. Debbie and the volunteers are standing by ready to help. Perhaps they can discuss and describe what you're looking for and then send photos of what's available in the shop. The telephone number is 523 197. The shop is located at 114 St James's Street in the centre of Newport, opposite the Man in the Moon Wetherspoons pub. Also, a quick reminder that the government are removing the BBC TV licence fee exemption for the over 75. But remember, anyone who's registered severely sight impaired, used to be registered blind, is entitled to a 50% discount off the fee. Please call us for more information, or if you wish to be assessed for registration and therefore receive the discount. It does not cost anything to be registered. I'm afraid we do still not have a date as to when Millbrook House can formally open for activities, but we are continuing to watch government guidelines very closely. Finally, we cannot thank Vectis Radio enough for their help in airing our twice-weekly talking news, 3 till 4 on a Saturday, 6 till 7 on a Tuesday. We hope you're enjoying our production. Thank you.
And now, a poem written by Royston Carter Jones in 2019, entitled An Early Call. I was woken at dawn in early May by a rapturous call so very close by. To this alluring reveille I did not delay in parting the curtain to cast an eye, silently observing the scene before me as the open window welcomed fragrant breeze. It appeared on the phone wire so close to see, summer's prized visitor perched at ease. This privileged experience was like a dream, as I listened to the cuckoo's call. This repetitious songster was truly supreme. Not a penny does it cost to thrill us all. That it happened is the truth of the matter. My close encounter with this magnificent bird would cause years of much debated chatter, long after this incident occurred. Expanding and contracting its feathery breast, the bird now continued its two-syllable call, thrilling early risers claiming they heard it first, the music of summer to uplift us all. After moments never to be forgotten, the bird took flight to continue its mission, to undertake the continuation of its species' inherent determination.
Hello, this is Lisa, CEO of Sight for Wight. This is an article on social distancing and the use of face masks. I apologise in advance for the length of this article, but it does contain a lot of current information on the changes being implemented due to the COVID-19 virus. Please remember this news is also always available on our website and Facebook page if you need to listen to it again. Sight for Wight has partnered with the Age-Friendly Island Initiative to create a set of out and about cards to help people feel more comfortable navigating social distancing and the other COVID measures which are now in place. We have found that with the lockdown restrictions easing, some people were finding the fast changing new situations even more challenging. The key changes include 1. The widening of pavements. High streets across the island are being marked with 2-metre spaces and wider pavements in order to allow people to pass freely during the social distancing. Changes are planned across the island in all major towns, so if you need an update on your local area, please do call us and we will investigate for you. 2. Track and trace requirements. As cafes, restaurants, bars and pubs are opening, you will now be asked as a minimum for the contact details of each household that is entering the eatery or establishment. This is so that you can be contacted should someone be diagnosed with COVID-19 whom you have been in close proximity to. 3. Extensive PPE. Doctors, dentists and hairdressers are now wearing extensive PPE as the services are beginning to resume. Wearing this PPE can, however, make communication more difficult for people with disabilities. 4. Being served. You will find that all shops are now serving you from behind a clear plastic screen, and many places are only accepting contactless with no cash being accepted. 5. Face masks are now to be worn on all public transport, including planes, buses and ferries. Further, they are now to be worn in all shops and supermarkets. It is also being strongly encouraged that they are worn in any closed public space where social distancing is not possible. Face masks are designed to protect other people, not the wearer, and there is no certain guidance in place whether a face shield can count as a face mask. The Scottish Government have confirmed that a face shield does count, but the English Government have not confirmed either way. For the avoidance of doubt, a face shield is usually a clear perspex screen that is fitted on the forehead away from the face, and a face mask is a cloth mask which fits over the nose and mouth directly. What the English Government have confirmed is that a face mask must completely cover the whole nose and the whole mouth, and must be securely fastened around the head or ears. Further, the mask must be washable or disposable, and preferably have 2 layers of thickness. There are no requirements for any minimum fabric thickness or content though. There are exemptions, however. and follows a list of the people and situations where the face covering may not be worn. Young children under the age of 11. Those not being able to put on, wear or remove a face covering because of a physical or mental illness, disability or impairment. If putting on, wearing or removing a face covering will cause severe distress. If you are travelling with or providing assistance to someone who relies on lip reading to communicate. To avoid harm or injury or risk of harm or injury to yourself or others. To eat or drink, but only if you need to. To take medication. If a police officer or other official requests you remove the face covering. If you are asked to do so by a member of staff in a shop for the purpose of age identification. And finally, if speaking with people who rely on lip reading, facial expressions or clear sound, some may ask, either verbally or in writing, to remove a covering while communicating. These guidance are deliberately not an exact list because people are all individuals and it needs to be flexible enough to cover all eventualities. I thought therefore an example or two may help. I myself am exempt because I have an eye condition whereby any sunlight instantly blinds me. I wear glasses which fit exactly to my face to stop all light entering. If I wear a face mask over my nose, this disturbs the lower seal of my glasses and causes light to enter. This stops me seeing anything at all, will cause me enormous distress and may cause harm or injury to myself or others. This said, I do wear a face mask and lower it below my nose when outside in any daylight. Other people I have spoken to are also exempt, as their only usable vision is from the very lowest part of their eye, and the face mask obscures this. If you are in doubt or want to talk to somebody, please give us a call, and if we can't help, we will find someone who can. So, with so many changes, we joined forces with the Age Friendly Ireland initiative to create a scheme to let other people know that some people need maybe a little time or a little extra help adjusting to these new changes. It is important that this scheme is recognised across the island and that is one recognisable sign for people to look for. This scheme, which is part funded by the National Lottery Community Fund, is therefore island-wide and designed to be used to let people know that the card holder finds these new situations challenging. The scheme allows for people to wear a badge with a lanyard if they wish, which asks other people to be patient and allow a little extra time to adjust. We are receiving a stock of these badges and lanyards to distribute to our members. The badges are double-sided. The first shows the following to message and we believe will be most suited to VI people. Side 1. Please be patient, I am exempt from wearing a face covering. Side 2. Please be patient, social distance is challenging for me. The second card shows the following two messages which are intended more for people who need to lip read, but still may be suitable for VI people. Side 1. Please be patient, your use of face covering is challenging for me. Side 2. Please be patient, I need time and space. Businesses are being strongly encouraged to use posters within their premises for people using the out and about cards and to support this initiative. Posters can be downloaded from www.iwight.com/campaign toolkits. If you or someone you know would benefit from using these cards, please contact Sight for Wight on 01983 52205 for more information. Thank you.
Sight for Wight would like to thank you for listening to this week's edition of the Talking News. We would also like to thank our volunteers for reading, and a particular thank you to the Island Echo, Isle of Wight County Press, Isle of Wight Observer, and On the Wight. A special thank you must go to Vectis Radio, who has helped us get vital information to our members.